Good morning, StreamYard YouTube fans. And today I figured we'd try another round of Forbidden Island today. And this time we're just using two players and not four. Uh, try to make it a little bit easier, um, less confusing in that. We're still going to leave the water rise meter at novice level since I'm just beginning to learn this game. Um, and I didn't put which players I will, but I didn't put which players that we're using in the description because I'm just now gonna figure that out, so to speak. But I will put which players that we have because it is in kind of you need to know that because it the traits is what kind of their each character's traits kind of defines what you can do in the game. Um, you might have it a little bit easier if you have the pilot because he can move people around. Um, the explorer can move diagonally. Messenger can give things to people, and as a result, the traits of the different people do come into effect. The flood cards are shuffled. All right, shuffle the water rise or the treasure cards, as they're called. The water rise cards. All right. All right. They're shuffled. Okay. I got to make sure that I take out all the tiles because the last time I wound up having to put I missed two tiles, and that's the reason why the Fool's Landing was at the kind of the bottom. Okay. I'm gonna lay out the tiles, and then I'll show you an overview, kind of show you where some things are at on the board, especially tiles like this that have the actual token pieces on them. That's fire there. One more. Ready. All right. Now, to the top. Four. Six. All right, now I'm going to switch to my other camera and we'll look at some of the tiles and where things are placed. Okay, that's the layout, as you see it right there. You'll notice it Fool's Landing's here at the bottom. I'm going to start at the top. We've got a fountain place here. We got the wind and fountain over here. Howling Gardens, the second wind piece over here. We got the earth piece here. Fire and earth here. A lot of the startings is at the lower portion of the thing. And and in the Cave of Shadows down here is the other fire piece. So most of the piece parts are in the middle and up top. We got one down the bottom. And okay, we are ready to go. Alright, now what I need to do is I need to mix up the player cards. And we will randomly choose. First off, we're choosing the engineer. And the second one, we're choosing the explorer. So I'm going to write that in the Alright, so we're using the engineer and the explorer. The explorer can move diagonally, shore up and move diagonally. That is good. And the engineer can get rid of tiles, which is also very good. But the only negative is that now, in order to because you don't have a helicopter pilot who can lift people from one tile to another, you actually have to exchange cards by being on the same tile. So let us get our red and green tokens out. Red starts on the bronze, green starts at Copper Gate. All right. And we've got to give I got to give each player their treasure cards. Explorer gets the sandbag, and that's going to get put back in the deck. And he gets sandbag, and he gets a wind token to start. Okay, engineer will get a wind token. and a fire wind token and a fire token. All right, we shuffle this Water's Rise card back into the deck. And now there's one last thing we do. We have to see which tiles start sunken. All right, Whispering Garden. That's for a Griffin. Watchtower. Watchtower. The Silvergate. 3. The Coppergate. That's where the Explorer is at. And the Bronze Gate, where the Engineer is at. And finally, Fool's Landing. Wow. That's not a good way to start, and I think we kind of started that way last time. Alright, I will reshuffle these cards. Alright, let's see how we can do with 2 players opposed to just... So we're going to switch to the cards now. Alright. So the Explorer can move diagonally if he wants, shore up diagonally. The thing is he's got a sandbag to start the game, so he's going to use that as his first action, and he will shore up Copper Gate. And that actually, it does not count as an action. So that's a free action for the Explorer. That did not cost him anything. He's going to shore up Silvergate. That will be 1 action. You get 3 actions per turn. So shoring that up is 1. He moves there. That's 2. He moves to Phantom Rock. There's 3. And then he'll get two treasure cards here. The first card he gets is a helicopter card. Second card he gets is his second wind card. And remember, we can only keep 5 cards in our hand at a time. Once you reach the hand limit, then you have to discard cards. Okay. So let us go back down for the Engineer's turn. Okay. So what is going to happen here is the Engineer gets 3 turns. He's going to shore up Fool's Landing, and that's 1. He'll move. No, he can't do that. He's going to shore up Bronze Gate where he's at. Oh, and then that's 2. and then he'll move the Fool's Landing. That's 3. I already made one mistake, but that's all right. We will correct it here, and that's in between. I have to do not only the treasure cards, but the find out which tiles in between hands is sunken. So we'll draw 4 instead of 2 to simulate both players. All right. So let's see which tiles are sunken. We got the Dunes of Deception. That's 1. We've got Cave of Shadows. It's 2. Misty Marsh. 3. And the Coral Palace. 4. Okay, Coral Palace, where are you at? Oh, here it is, next to Whispering Gardens. All right. And that's basically makes up for the mistake I made of not doing that for the first round. All right, let us go. All right, the let's see here. The explorer is going to shore up Cave of Shadows. That's his first action, and then he's let's see. He's going to go to the engineer's Fool Landing for a second, and he'll get the Griffin from the engineer, and that will be his turn. And so he now has three Griffins, and we're 1 away from getting the Griffin statue. You need the Griffin statue, which is wind. You need the basically they're the 4 elements. Basically, you need the 4 elements. Earth. This looks like the World Cup soccer. That's Earth. You got the Griffin as the wind. You got fire, and you've got the chalice or Holy Grail for water. You have to have 4 treasure cards in order to get whichever element that you're trying to get, and you have to get all 4 elements before you can get off the island, so to speak. And you've got to do it before all the tiles get sunken or the waters rise in that. And we just did his turn. He gets 2 treasure cards. He'll get an earth piece. That will be his 5th card. And we got the chalice. That's really his 6th, but he can't use it. You can only have 5 cards in your hand, so he'll discard that. He has to save his helicopter card for the end. And now we see which tiles are flooded. We've got the Bronze Gate again. Nobody's there. And we've got the Temple of the Sun. Temple of the Sun. I don't see Temple of the Sun. Oh, there it is. It's in the middle. Okay. And we didn't have any Waters Rise cards creep up. We're both on the same. We are on the Engineer's turn. All right, let's see here. The Engineer is going to shore up. Oh, he can shore up 2 tiles for 1 action. He's going to do that. He's going to shore up the Bronze. Well, he's going to shore up Whispering Gardens, Temple of the Sun. That's 1 action. He's going to shore up Bronze Gate for his 2nd action. That's correct. And then for his 3rd, he's going to move to the Temple of the Moon to be close to the Watchtower. He'll get 2 treasure cards. He gets another he gets his first one. He gets another fire, so that's 2 fires for him. And the Waters Rise. So we move our meter up 1, so we're now no longer novice. We're normal, and we're still doing 2 cards at a time. And now we'll see which 2 cards come up. We've got the Silver Gate, which comes up. And we've got Howling Garden, which comes up. And okay. And we're back to the Engineer. Since he can shore up diagonally, and I'll show you this. Since he can shore up diagonally, he's going to shore up Silvergate. He's going to move 1. That's 2. And then for his 3rd, he will shore up Howling Gardens because it has the Griffin on it. And that will be the end of his turn. Let's see. We get a sandbag. Unfortunately, he's at his card limit, so he's going to have to discard that, and you can use it while you're discarding it. So he's going to we're going to shore up the Watchtower. The other one is a Waters Rise. So now we pick 3 tiles instead of 2. We're now at elite status, and we pick 3 cards instead of 2, which is important because that's where we're at. We're showing which 3 cards, not 2, are selected. Temple of the Moon, which is the tile that we're on. That's the first one. Fool's Landing. That's the second one. And the third one is Iron's Gate. Okay. All right. And we're at the explorer's turn. I mean, the engineer's turn. And luckily, the engineer can shore up 2 tiles for just one action, and he's going to do that with the Temple of the Moon and Fool's Landing. That's one action. And then he's going to, I think the best, let's see here. And I think he's going to, he'll move up 2 spots, the engineer will, so that he can get towards the Coral Palace and shore that up. That's going to be his third action. All right, let's see which 2 cards that he gets. He gets a Chalice and another Waters Rise card. That means we're still at level 3. We're about halfway there. And now we see which 3 tiles are flooded. Crimson Forest, you're flooded. Cliffs of Abandon is the next card, which is over here next to where I'm at. And the third and final is the Breaker's Bridge, which is where the engineer is at right now. All right. And here, give you an over. Looks like most of the top spaces are the ones that are flooded. Misty Marsh, Cliffs of Abandon, Crimson Forest, Breaker's Bridge, Coral Palace, Dunes of Deception, and Iron Gate there. Those are the ones that are currently flooded. Let's see. The Explorer's going to move up 1, and he's going to shore up Cliffs of Abandon and Breaker's Bridge. Those are his 3 moves this turn. And let us see which kind of cards that he gets. All right, let's see what kind of cards he gets. He gets an Earth piece. He cannot use that. He's maxed. Another Earth piece he cannot use. It is maxed. Let us see which pieces are flooded. And we have to turn 3. Coppergate. Twilight Hallow. And Lost Lagoon. Okay. All right. Our players are kind of up there in the the engineer, he's pretty much his first move is to shore up whatever tiles need to be. So he's going to shore up the Coral Palace because that is a fountain. And he will shore up Lost Lagoon, the tile next to it. That's one action of his. He will shore up Crimson Forest. That'll be action 2. And then he's going to move up with, let's see here. Yeah, he's going to move 1 over to Howling Garden over there to get to the Misty Marsh and closer. Okay. And we've done all that stuff that we can. We've already done the tiles, so it is now the, oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Moved the wrong piece. And he can't, so, yeah. Well, yeah, he'll move the Cliffs of Abandon. Sorry. I moved the wrong piece. Now we're at the engineer's turn. He's going to move, and he is, let's see here. I think he's going to move 2, and then he's going to shore up Coppergate. 3. Let's see what treasures he gets for this particular turn. Alright. He's got a griffin, and he's going to keep that and get rid of the earth. So that will give us 4 griffin pieces. Okay. And his other piece is a earth piece, and he can't keep that. Okay. And then let us see which 3 tiles are flooded. Got the observatory. We've got Cave of Embers. And we've got Whispering Gardens, and that's needed for the Griffin. Okay. Okay. Let us go and all right. I wish kind of the engineer now had those Griffin cards, because he could pick up the Griffin, but he can't. He is going to shore up for his first thing. He's going to shore up the Whispering Garden, and he's going to shore up Misty Marsh. That's his first move. He's going to come down to Howling Garden. That's his second move. And for his third, he's going to shore up Cave of Embers. That is his third move. Okay. Now, let us see what kind of treasure cards he gets. He will get the third fire symbol. And his next one is he gets a helicopter card, and that puts him at his limit. Okay, and we've got 3 cards to flip for which tiles are sunk. The watchtower is the first one. Golden Gate is the second one. And then Phantom Rock is the third one. Okay, which means we have one card left, and next time we'll have to shuffle and randomize things a little bit there. Okay. It is now the explorer's turn. And the explorer can move diagonally. And because they can move diagonally, we're going to go to Whispering Garden. That's our first action. We're going to trade in our cards and get the Griffin. So we now have the Griffin. And I'll put that right there. Okay. And let's see what else. He's going to shore up the watchtower for his third move. Okay. And let's see what kind of cards he gets. Let's see what cards he gets. He gets a fire, which is the fourth element one of the four elements that we need. So he gets fire. And he gets a chalice. Alright. And now we've got to find out which tiles are sunken. And that is Tidal Palace. That's one. Now we have to shuffle up the cards, the flood deck, to get the other two pieces. Alright. And the second piece is the Temple of the Moon. And the third piece is the Temple of the Sun. Okay. Now it is the engineer's turn. It's the engineer's turn. And with his first turn, he's going to shore up Temple of the Moon, Temple of the Sun. That's one. He is going to go 1, 2. He's going to go to Breaker's Bridge. That is 3. That is his turn. He's going to see what kind of cards he gets, treasure cards he gets. It's a helicopter, and he's at his limit, so he is going to go to because he can. He's going to go to where the explorer is, and that's at Whispering Garden. And okay, and then that's that. And then the second card is a chalice card, and he's at his limit, so he's going to have to discard that as well. And then we've got to see which two pieces are which we get draw 3 cards. Sorry, here to see which 3 are Fool's Landing. That's one. Tidal Palace. That is the water, and that is already sunken, so it is gone from the board. So that means the Coral Palace is the only place that we can get the water fountain. And then the last one is Cave of Shadows, and that is okay, never mind, it's not Cave of Shadows, and that's at the bottom there. I'll show you the layout. You'll see we've got a missing piece here. That was where the Tidal Palace is, and most of your flooded tiles are at the bottom here. All right, it's the explorer's turn. The explorer, for his first action, is going to give the engineer the fire, and that means that he will have to use. By doing that, he'll have to use his. He's not well. He'll have to get rid of one of his cards. He'll get rid of the chalice, so he'll have one helicopter pass. And that was his first move. And then he's going to start heading down the Fool's Landing, which will take him to the Silver Gate. And let us see which cards he gets. See which card he gets. An Earth symbol. And he gets a Griffin. Actually, the Griffin is already, so that's kind of pointless. So that actually can be taken out of the deck, so I won't use that next time. And let's see which 3 tiles are sunken. We've got the Silver Gate, and that is where the engineer currently resides. We got the Howling Gate, which is up here. And then the last card is the Watchtower, and that's right next to Howling Garden. That's the Watchtower. All right. And it's now the engineer's turn. All right. It's now the engineer's turn. He will sandbag up Fool's Landing. That's his first action. For his second action, he's going to trade in all the fire. He's going to trade in the fire pieces. That will give us 2 pieces, 2 elements. And for his third action, he is going to shore up Silver Gate, where he's at. Okay. And he'll get From the treasure deck, he'll get a chalice, and he doesn't need this fire emblem, so that's because that's gone. All right, let us take out fire pieces and the griffin pieces. We don't need those. We've got those, and we will shuffle the rest of the treasure cards. All right, and now we've got three cards to Misty Marsh, Twilight Hallow, and that's already sunk, so that is gone. And the third one will be the Coral Palace, and that we need to shore up because that is the only way to get the fountain. Okay, and it's the explorer's turn, and they will shore up Coral Palace. That's their first move. They're going to shore up the watchtower. That's the second move. And he will move towards the engineer. That's going to be his third move. Let us see what he gets as far as treasure cards this time. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was on the tiles, but I wasn't. All right, let's see what treasure cards we get. Get the earth. That's the second earth piece. And we get a Water's Rise. So we are at the topmost level of the three. We're halfway. We're now definitely halfway there. And let's see which three pieces are sunk. Iron Gate. And we just lost the Iron Gate. That's our third piece that's gone. Second is the Lost Lagoon. That gets flipped over. And the last one is the Golden Gate. And the Golden Gate is also gone. So that's our fourth piece that's missing. And our island is shrinking, guys. And it's the explorer's turn. And we don't need to shore up. Okay. He's going to move down to where the engineer is. That's one action. That's one action. And he's going to shore up Lost Lagoon for 2 and Phantom Rock for 3. That will be his turns this time. Let's see what kind of treasure cards that we get. If there are treasure, we get a third earth piece. And we get another helicopter thing. They don't need it, but they're on the same place, so they are going to move to Fool's Landing. You have to get rid of it. So they're going to move the Fool's Landing. That won't cost them any action. And let us see which three tiles are. Yeah, which three tiles are flooded. Cliffs of Abandon. It's one. Bronze Gate. And the Bronze Gate. Oh, okay. Bronze Gate there. And the third and final piece is the Cave of Embers. And where are you, Cave of that? There you are, right there. That's three. And we are at the engineer's turn. And let's go down. And because we're on the same tile for his first action, he's going to take the chalice from the explorer. That's going to be his first action. His second action will be to shore up the Cave of Embers and the Cave of Shadows. That's be his second action, and his third action will be to shore up Bronze Gate. And let us see which kind of cards he gets. He will get, a Water's Rise card. That puts us in the danger zone, and we're picking 4 cards, not 3. And his second treasure card will be the Chalice, and that is the Engineer, yes. So that's the third Chalice. We need one more of those in order to get it. And now we're picking 4 cards. Crimson Forest, Breaker's Bridge, Dunes of Deception is gone. That's the 5th piece. And the last one is the Observatory, and the Observatory is gone. That's the 6th piece out of the game. And the Explorer is up. Okay. And the Explorer is going to move to the Earth piece. That's their first action. They're going to shore up Howling Guardians for their second action. And this turn, they're only going to use those 2 actions. They don't want to get far away from the Engineer. And let's see what treasure cards they get. They get a Sandbag. And they're going to shore up, it doesn't really matter, but they're going to shore up Breaker's Bridge. And then the second piece is another Sandbag. They'll use that to shore up Cliffs of Abandon. Okay. And now we pick 4 cards. So we're going to have to shuffle for our 4th one. The Copper Gate gets flooded. Whispering Gardens gets flooded. and Phantom Rock gets flooded. We had to shuffle up the cards, and the last one is Cave of Embers. And that's where one of the pieces where we get the fire, but we've already got the fire. Okay. And I believe it's the engineer's turn. Let's see what happens here. The engineer's going to shore up Phantom Rock, Cave of Embers. That's one turn. That's one thing. And they're going to use their helicopter lift because the Explorer has one. So he's going to use a helicopter lift to get the actually no, he's not going to do that. He's just going to shore up those tiles. He doesn't really that he's just going to use one action this turn, and it is going to be, let's see what kind of treasures he gets. Let's see what kind of treasures he gets. He'll get a Water's Rise. That is not good. So that takes us to the topmost of 4. And then the other one is the Earth symbol. And let's see which 4 tiles are sunk. Cave of Shadows. Coppergate. Oh, Coppergate is gone. That's the 7th one gone. Silvergate. And one, two. The 3rd one is Temple of the Moon, where the Earth piece is at. And then the last one is Phantom Rock. Okay. Now, the okay. Let's see what happens here. Now it is the Explorer's turn. I think what the Explorer is going to do is he's going to use his helicopter lift to get. He's going to use the helicopter lift to get the engineer to his spot. That's going to be his first turn. His second turn is to get the Earth piece from the engineer. That's 2. And his last action is going to be to get the Earth piece. So we have 3 of the 4 pieces now. And that is his turn. Let's see what pops up. Let's see what pops up here. We just got a chalice. And we got another chalice. Now we've got, see which 4 pieces are left here, because we might win this game. Lost Lagoon, Temple of the Sun, Temple of the Sun, Watchtower, that's the third piece, and the final piece is Howling Gardens, and okay. And it is now the engineer's turn. Hello, I see that somebody showed up. I'm in the middle of Forbidden Island here, and currently we have 3 of the 4 pieces, and it is now the engineer's turn. For his first action, he's going to take the chalice, the water chalice, from the he's going to take the water chalice from the explorer. That's his first move. His second move is to get the chalice. So we now have all 4 pieces. And there's only one thing left to do, guys. And there's only one thing left to do, guys. And guess what? It's use our helicopter lift. We just won this game. Yes. And this is only the second time I've played this game. We just won this game. Yes. And we all get off the island safely. Yay. And that's just at an hour and 3 minutes, basically, as far as gameplay time goes. So, yes, a win for the good guys. So, and that's with 2 players. We just used it with the explorer and the engineer, and we were up there on the water rise meter, but we managed to eke out a win. The island loses. The good guys win. Yes. And you all take care and have a good day. And I hope next time we play, we can get off the island.